Welcome back to the best channel here on YouTube, folks. The Gurus are here to give you another scoop into the college football game.
The college football game is a very tough game nowadays, and we're going to talk to you about the top four, the college football playoff rankings. And with number one, we can't lie. We got to keep it simple. It's Alabama. They came out against a very good opponent and just wrecked them. A good program, if you will.
Yeah.
Louisville was when Lamar Jackson was almost a top 10 team for a couple weeks there.
Close.
I mean, so the way Alabama did them with two quarterbacks playing, even with the quarterback situation hovering over two guys, they came out there, they played focused, and they won the game. They didn't win, they dominated the game. So they've got to be number one.
There's no debate here. You can't debate anybody else. Alabama just made Louisville look like a D2 school after all that mess, and I really thought there were going to actually be some conversation here. But there's just freshmen out there looking like grown men on you, and you can't do nothing with that. It's Alabama's number one till I see otherwise.
Right. Number two is Clemson, and Clemson, after losing a lot of good players last season, still proving that with that coach they can be a good, dominant program. I expect their defense to carry them a long way. Their defense is very good, very powerful on the defensive side. The offense is still also very good. With this quarterback, I forgot his name already.
For Clemson,
It's killing me that I don't know it now.
I just heard his name. It's okay.
But anyways, I really expect him to be a very good player for Clemson. I expect in the what conference are they in again? The ACC?
Yep.
The ACC, yes. The ACC team against Duke, Miami. I expect them to dominate Miami this year, especially after what LSU did to them. And Clemson's much better than LSU. So I expect Clemson to run away with their division. No competition necessary. Clemson's going to be number 2 or number 1 all season long.
Our top four is going to be very similar right here. Just week one, we haven't seen that much yet. So all the top teams are still there. Clemson is also there for me. Their D-line is probably the best there. I expect there to be at least 3 first-round picks in this year's draft from this D-line. And this team is very well coached, and they're always going to be up here. That's all I can say right now.
All right, coming in at number 3, we've got to go with the other SEC team, Georgia. I mean, Georgia comes out and dominates. They come out and play. The reason we can't change it is as much as because we haven't seen their conference play. We haven't seen them play really a top team opponent. Like when Georgia and Alabama play each other this year, that's going to really determine a lot. But right now it's just week 1. It's just these guys they all played out of conference nobodies really if you want to, and they all dominated. So really Georgia's got to stay where they were at. They played good. They didn't lose. They really just showed out. Georgia stays number 3.
Okay, so this is where we differ a little. I'm also going to have 2 SEC teams, and I expect 2 SEC teams to stay there all year. I'm just doing this based off week 1. This is my week 1 rankings. This is not who I think is going to get in, but right now Auburn's in at number 3 for me just because who they beat. Washington was a heck of a team that they beat. Many thought they were going to be in the college football playoffs. To lose that game early, Auburn looked tremendous, running around with the ball. They looked just more athletic. Looked like they could play better than these boys. Looked like men on the field, and I like to see that. I think Auburn has a real chance against Alabama later in the season, and the winner of that game will be in the title game, not just the playoffs, the title game.
All right, coming in at number 4, I got to go with the guys that just dominated. Really, who dominated week 1? It's Ohio State. 77 points. You got to give them credit where credit is due. They were, 5th last week? But then, if you score 77 points on any team, that means your backups, because the backups come in at some point. That means they're dominating. Yeah. So really the fact that they showed out against an Oregon State team who's a pretty known program. I mean, had James Washington and Mason Rudolph last year. That was, I believe, a top 25 team, 25th, 24th, if I'm not mistaken. They played in the bowl game.
It was up there. It was a bowl team.
So, really, Ohio State showed out, and they've got to stay in the program for me, so I like them at 4.
All right, my 4th team in is going to be Oklahoma. Kyler Murray just dominated to me. It looked like Oklahoma could be better than they were last year. And Baker won the Heisman. Don't get me wrong, but Kyler Murray looks like he fits Lincoln Riley's system better. And they just have playmaker after playmaker after playmaker, and they're going to keep dominating like this all season long.
All right. Coming in for our bubble team, if you will. The bubble team is the team we expect to slide in there. Mine's going to be Notre Dame. I really think Notre Dame being an independent school, they can play whoever they want all season long. They planned it pretty well with their strength schedule. It's not the hardest, but it's not the easiest. They came out with the opener against Michigan. But anyways, like I say, they're my bubble team. I expect them to do very well.
My bubble team is who he just mentioned, and it's I know they took a loss week 1, but later in the season, how hard their schedule is. If they win most of these games, except one other one, I can see them being a 2-loss team getting in just because of how hard their schedule is. Against Michigan will definitely get in here because they just have probably one of the deepest teams there is and one of the better coaching staffs. They will sneak in just because of who they play. Ohio State, then they'll play Penn State, then they'll play Michigan State. This is the second best conference, and I will say leave it at that.
All right, guys, that's been our top 4 for week 1. Make sure you check in for the next ones. But until next time, that's the Good Grooves signing out.
Ooh, I knew we'd cut it close.